According to this News 75 Today article, Anna Kepner's ex-boyfriend Josh, too, revealed she confided in him about a heated argument with her father that afternoon. Investigators now say timestamps on 3 text messages he saved could shed new light on her final evening, a revelation that pierces the veil of the ongoing FBI homicide probe into the death of Anna Kepner. Her ex-boyfriend Josh has disclosed that Anna confided in him about an explosive argument with her father, Christopher Kepner, just hours before her fatal evening aboard the Carnival Horizon cruise ship. The confrontation, which erupted around 3 p.m. on November 6, 2025, over Anna's reluctance to participate in family activities amid her growing discomfort with the blended household, has now drawn fresh scrutiny from investigators. At its core, 3 text messages from Anna to Josh are being dissected for clues about her emotional state, movements, and possible interactions with her family. Anna's story has left so many questions unanswered, especially why. Could her father and stepmother have done more? Could they face legal consequences for the warning signs they ignored? Josh handed over the texts to the FBI during a November 22nd interview, sources say, providing a digital breadcrumb trail that challenges the family's narrative of a harmonious cruise. Josh, speaking exclusively to a media outlet from his family's Titusville home, joined by his father, Stephen Weston, and Uncle Jim, too, recalled the moment Anna's distress spilled over via phone during the ship's afternoon shore excursion in Cozumel, Mexico. She called me crying around 3:15 right after they got back from the beach. Her dad was pushing her to join this stupid family photo op, but she was freaking out about sharing the cabin with the stepbrother. She told him it made her skin crawl, and he blew up. Called her ungrateful. Said she was ruining the trip for everyone. It was bad. She said he yelled so loud the stepmom had to pull him away. Anna, the peacemaker, retreated to a quiet deck lounge to call Josh, so Anna Kepner was overwhelmed with fear and desperation in the days leading up to her death. Her voice trembling as she described feeling trapped in the blended dynamic her father's 2022 marriage to Chantel Hudson had forged. Josh, a meticulous saver of mementos from their romance, preserved the trio of texts with their metadata intact for forensic verification. The first, at 3:47 p.m., Dad's being a total jerk right now, yelling about the cabin situation. I just want off this boat already. Miss you. The second, at 4:23 p.m., said, calm down a bit. Stepmom said we'd switch rooms tomorrow, but IDK if that's enough. He always takes his side. And the third, at 5:12 p.m., as the ship weighed anchor. Heading to dinner soon. Pray for me? Don't want to fight again with an heart emoji. FBI digital analysts is cross-referencing the text messages, timestamps with the ship's cell tower pings, and keycard logs. The 3:47 p.m. timestamp aligns with a 15-minute gap in family tracking apps, during which surveillance shows Christopher storming off to the promenade deck alone, corroborating Anna's account of the blow-up. The 4:23 p.m. message coincides with a swipe into Anna's cabin by Chantel, suggesting a private mediation that Anna refused. But the 5:12 p.m. text, sent from the cabin's Wi-Fi hotspot, flags a critical window. Just 22 minutes earlier, at 4:50 p.m., the stepbrother's phone logged a deleted photo of Anna, snapped as she unpacked per-subpoenaed device data. These aren't just words, they're anchors in time. A federal source briefed on the forensics explained. They show her escalating anxiety and how it might have boiled over post-dinner when she went back alone. Investigators theorize the argument's aftershocks rippled into the night. Anna's 9:42 p.m. text to her father, feels like someone's always watching me in here, now reads as an extension of that afternoon trauma, her unease amplified by the confined space and unresolved dismissal from her father. Josh's texts add emotional context. Was the prayer plea a subconscious SOS, ignored amid the family's push for unity? Agents are searching Christopher's phone for replies, probing if his response, or lack thereof, fueled a confrontation that drew in the stepbrother, whose 5 late-night calls to an unnamed friend between 10:47 p.m. to 3:22 a.m. suggest mounting panic.
If the boy is a suspect, why has he not been charged yet? What's happening there? Anna's father is due in court next Friday for a hearing on the custody battle between Anna's stepmom and her ex-husband. So many questions here. Let's bring in trial attorney Mark D. James to see what his thoughts are on this. Mark, hope you had a great Thanksgiving. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you. Happy Thanksgiving to you as well.
So there are so many unanswered questions here, Mark. In what is a tragedy? What might we learn? What will you look for in these family court hearings?
Well, we know that law enforcement hasn't shared a whole lot of information. We haven't heard whether there's any defensive or offensive wounds on either the suspect or on Anna. So there's just so much that we don't know. We don't know what law enforcement shared with the family, and from what we've heard, not a whole lot. So, but the judge has said that there's not going to be a gag on this. So, you know, whatever is there, we're going to hear about it in a court hearing.
Yeah, Mark, you know as well as anybody, there's due process here, but I think so many people watching this, they have looked at some of the tea leaves and the facts, and the 16-year-old stepbrother comes in. I think their question is, why is he not in custody? What would your answer be to that?
Well, like most homicides, they are circumstantial evidence. Rarely do we have an eyewitness who knows exactly what happened. And when we have a situation like this, DNA is going to be less helpful than it might normally. They shared a cabin room. So you're going to find hair. You're going to find skin flakings. You're going to find all sorts of things that would show that he was in the room. There was no denying that. So we know from the video there that nobody else came in. So there's really no hurry to rush to judgment on something like this. The young man is out. He's under watch, and the fact of the matter is get your facts together, because there's clearly going to be a situation where they go ahead and are wanting to have an airtight case. And this is not going to be a first degree, great likelihood. 80% of the crimes of passion, they happen with family and friends, and so they're just putting their case together and making sure they've got an airtight case.
Obviously, there's a lot of ways this could go, and it does not seem like it was an ideal family situation from what we've heard. What role are the parents going to play here? I mean, could there potentially be...
A crime of passion is a crime, usually a violent one, committed in a moment of intense emotional disturbance, such as rage, fear, jealousy, or heartbreak. The key idea is that the person loses self-control due to a sudden, powerful emotional trigger. Typical features: immediate emotional reaction. The act happens right after something shocking or provoking without time to cool down. No premeditation. It's not planned in advance. Often linked to relationships. Common triggers include discovering infidelity, sudden breakups, or emotionally charged confrontations. In many legal systems, a crime of passion can reduce a charge to manslaughter if the defendant's emotional state is considered to have impaired judgment.
Charges depending on what we learn?
Well, you know, what comes to one's mind, and you hate in a case like this when you have the death of a very young person, really any person, but, you know, a young, energetic young woman like Anna has been described to be, people are going to, the family of the boy are going to rush to his aid. It's a normal parental instinct. But you have a situation here where you've got really a lot of unanswered questions, and you've got, why are they putting an 18-year-old boy, a 16-year-old boy and an 18-year-old girl in a room with each other? And then you've got some allegations that have come out, and you hate to start rumors, but it's come out already, that he has some sort of obsession with her. If in fact all that's true, and if in fact the family knew about it, there's a real heightened sense of irresponsibility there. Is there going to be any criminal charges? Could there be civil liability? Potentially, but it's a stretch.
It's some great insight, and you're hitting on some of those issues that I know some of our viewers, they hear these things, and it just doesn't add up to them. Let's finish with this 30 seconds, Mark. Looking at this hearing next week, what will you watch for? What's the most important thing to take out of this?
What in fact law enforcement has shared with the family members, because they're going to be under oath, they're going to be required to testify. This is not like a case whereas if somebody is charged with a crime and they have another civil case going on, oftentimes judges will say, we're not going to proceed on the civil case until in fact the criminal case is resolved. That's not what we have here. We have simply the child, the boy, as a subject in a custody case or in a dissolution case. So there's not going to be those measures of protection. The judge has already said it. Everything's coming out. Press is going to have everything. So we want to hear what the questions are going to be. And then from there, we can hopefully put these pieces together. I don't think that this is going to take a lot longer. We do know that when Anna was found, that there was, of course, immediate suspicions. But we don't know if they took any pictures of the defensive wounds, of the offensive wounds, of the suspect.
The big question everyone wants to know is when Anna's stepbrother is going to be charged. A person's mental state can postpone criminal procedures, and this may be the case. Justice for Anna. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe.